Welcome to the final playing test of this former Fender Concert 2 from about 1984. To recap, for those who haven't seen all the previous videos, though this isn't a playlist, and there'll be a link in the description to the first one in this series. This is now essentially a super reverb channel, and this is now Dumble-esque, by which I mean that I took some of Dumble's ideas because the owner wanted Robin Ford stuff, and I played around with them a little bit. It's not exactly a clone. I would say it's indebted to the Dumble circuit. I wanted to do specific things and to work with other aspects of this amp in terms of the voltages and impedances and the nitty-gritty stuff that people fall asleep when I talk about. But the owner came by yesterday and played it and loved it, and you'll get to hear him playing the amp yesterday for the first time. And I just wanted to touch on a few things that aren't apparent in that video. First of all, since that video yesterday, the only changes I've made where I changed the master volume for the gain, changed its taper. I had a really narrow range of effectiveness, and now it has a wider range of effective settings. And I made one change, which I meant to do before. I changed the way the reverb works so that instead of like a Fender just cutting the reverb off as soon as you hit the button, now it does a dry kill, the trail off effect. So let me let you hear that real quick. So in a standard Fender, as soon as I turn off the reverb, that trail goes away. I'm going to turn the reverb up. It's a little bit buzzy in this amp. I couldn't get it perfect, but that's really high levels. Now, if I turn off the reverb in a standard Fender, all the reverb stops. On this, if I turn it off, you hear the trail off, but the next thing you play is dry. Just gives a nicer transition if you go from a clean thing with reverb to a dirty thing that's dry. So let me do something along those lines. It's a little more apparent when the reverb's higher. But anyway, I'm going to let you hear what the owner did yesterday, and then I'm going to do a little bit of higher gain stuff after that, just to show some of the range this amp does that was only hinted at in the video that the owner did yesterday. Okay, and here's some of the higher gain stuff. Now I've got the gain at 3 here, and that's influenced by the volume setting. So the volume of the dirty channel by itself is this. Now this is with PAFs. Now if I back off a little bit, that cleans up really nicely like it would be on a Strat. But if I pull this out, then you get the high gain mode. So I'm going to switch over to the clean Fender channel. And let you hear the difference. Now, as far as why some notes are doing that sustained feedback and some aren't, I'm sitting very close to the amp. If I were facing the speakers and turning as I played more, I could massage that and get more notes to feedback. I could also turn up a little bit, you know. But if I turn down, and then I can also turn the gain up from there. That's with the gain on 3. So the clean channel, the Dumble S channel volume's at 5, the gain's at 3. This is with that, without the gain, that 5 sounds like. Now for all that, I've had the treble, mid, and bass and presence at noon. So let me play around with that, get some more saturated stuff. You know, the owner loves Robin Ford, and there are a lot of different periods of that. And I don't pretend to be able to play like Robin Ford. If I could play like Robin Ford, I wouldn't be working on amps. I'd be on tour somewhere. Well, if anyone was going to be on tour. But let me just massage this a little bit. That thing might get some of the more saturated, supernatural kind of Robin Ford stuff. Let me go crazy and just dime the gain. Too saturated for my taste. If you want to bring out some pick harmonics, turn the treble up just a little bit, turn the presence up a bit. Sorry about the sloppiness, some of the higher gain stuff. I don't play metal very often, and I forget to mute a little bit. And I'm also sitting really close to the amp. If I were 10 feet away, those squeals would not have happened. This also has a very nice global master volume. It's been on full this whole time. I'm going to turn it down to about noon. So, cleans. Well, clean channel, it's still the SG. Dirty. So, as you can tell, while there's a point at which the speakers and the guitars start to interact and it gets a lot cooler, the sound does not suffer if you need to play it with a lower master volume setting for a small club or practice at home. One of the other things I want to show real quick before we're done is that while this has its own character, you can get kind of martially things out of this depending on what your concept of a Marshall is. So I'm going to turn the treble and mid up, the bass down quite a bit, and play with the presence a little bit. And turn the reverb off. I think it came out well.